Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 56 of the World of Sports podcast. I'm your host, Diego Sandoval, and joined with me, as always, is my co-host, Logan Ring. Logan, say what's up to the people.
What's up, everybody?
We've got a great episode in store. Very, very full, jam-packed episode. As always, we're going to do our NFL Week 6 picks and bold predictions, of course. And then we are going to jump into our NBA season predictions. NBA season, we're recording this Friday, October 15th. It starts on Tuesday, I believe. 2 games on Tuesday and the rest of the league on Wednesday. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like 5 days from now.
Yeah.
So either way.
So very exciting stuff in the NBA. Preseason just is wrapping up or has wrapped up.
I think it's today
teams.
or tomorrow is the last one.
Yeah. And then we're going to close it off just by talking about the MLB playoffs, ALCS and LCS. The first game of the ALCS is about to start. And then the NLCS is starting on Saturday tomorrow, depending on when you are watching or listening to this. Before we get started, follow us on all of our social medias. Head over to Instagram at TWOS Podcast. Click the link in our bio. All of our links can be found there. Let's jump right into it with our NFL picks. We are undefeated on Thursday night, ladies and gentlemen. We picked the Buccaneers last night to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. They did just that. Checking in on our scores, we were tied going into last week.
I jumped ahead.
I went 12-4, put me at 57-23, and you went 10-6. You're 55-25 is still really, like, we're doing really well, I feel like, which is,
for a casual fan, I think I'm doing just all right.
But I'm trying to think who screwed you last week.
The Browns, the refs in the Browns game, maybe.
Yeah, and we had a couple like that we were split on that we ended up.
Yeah, the Chiefs.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, that was pretty
Broncos.
much that was and then the Broncos. Those were the flippers. But yeah, should be another good week. We already got one right. Let's run through these. We're not going to spend as much time as we usually do, just because we got a lot more to talk about in the NBA and MLB. Over in London, England, the Jaguars are taking on the Dolphins, and I have the Jaguars winning their first game in a very long time in this one. I just feel like the Dolphins are depleted and not a good team, and neither are the Jaguars, but I think the Jaguars can win this one.
Yeah, I actually am picking the Jaguars too. Trevor Lawrence, he's got to like break out at some point, and I mean he's not been like bad or anything. He's just, I feel like most people think that he's got more in him because of what we've seen before. So yeah, I'm going with the Jaguars. I've not liked what I've seen with the Dolphins for the last few weeks at all.
Yeah, this feels eerily similar to last week. We both picked the Jets to beat the Falcons in London, and that didn't happen. Hopefully this one does happen. So yeah, we both got the Jaguars. Moving on, Packers versus the Bears. I have the Packers in this one. I just think they're the better team.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I don't honestly have too much to say about this, but I just feel like the Packers are better in both sides of the field.
Yeah. Moving on, Bengals taking on the Detroit Lions. What do you got in this one?
And this one, I got the Bengals again. The Lions in some of the games have made it pretty close. It's just, I don't think they're very good at all. And the Bengals have been a lot better than I thought. So I'm going to keep thinking that's the way it's going to go down this week too.
Yeah, I'm rocking with the Bengals, but the Lions are a good 0-5 team. Like they've put up fights against good teams. So they're
almost beat the Ravens.
Right. And they've played hard-fought games. They almost came back against the Niners week 1, if you remember that game. They're 0-5, but they played good games so far. Moving on to 1-4 teams, the Colts taking on the Texans. I think that the Texans have been playing like a 1-4 team. I think the Colts have a bit more in them than what their record says, so I've got the Colts.
Yep, I think we're the same so far. I got the Colts too. I feel like they've just been, they've been in almost every game they've played, and they absolutely blew it last week. But if they're up against the Ravens, then I feel like I don't think the Texans could even do that at all. So yeah, I'm rocking with the Colts.
And then moving on, I mean, the game that I think is the lock of the week. I have the Rams beating the Giants pretty handedly. I'm sure you have the same thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Just
just
making sure.
yeah.
We don't have to talk about that game. A game that I think could be a massive shootout. Two of the worst. I think it might be the two statistically worst defenses in the NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Washington football team.
It is so weird.
Like, okay, nobody really expected the Chiefs defense to be good. Nobody expected it to be this bad.
Mhm.
And Washington football team, they came in as a top 5 defense and have just been terrible. If it comes down to a shootout, which I think it will, I think the Chiefs can outshoot the football team.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what's up with the Chiefs, but I mean, I think they're too talented to pick against them even in a game like this. So yeah, I got to go with them again.
I mean, the Chiefs, their record, I think they're 2-3 right now. I think they're going to make the playoffs just because they have the talent to be a playoff team.
Mhm.
But you can't win in the playoffs with the team that they have right now. Just that it's not the formula won't work. And we saw
It's just been disappointing.
Yeah, and we saw it last week against the Bills. Like that's going to
Mhm.
be who they have to beat.
Yeah.
And they pretty much got manhandled by them.
Yeah.
So Chiefs fans, I would be worried heading into the playoffs. Moving on, an interesting matchup: the Carolina Panthers taking on the Minnesota Vikings. The Panthers have a really good defense. That offense has shown that it could be inconsistent. And the Vikings are kind of the other way around. They have a good offense, but that defense has shown it can be inconsistent. Who do you got in this one? I'll let you go first.
I got the Panthers in this one. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Panthers, they started 3-0 and whatever. I don't think they're that good of a team, but I just do still think they got some talent. And the Vikings, I feel like some weeks have just kind of not shown up at all. And that inconsistency kind of just scares me for picking with them. So I'm rocking with the Panthers.
Yeah, I got the Panthers as well. I just think that defense is so strong.
Yeah.
Moving on to a very good game this week. The Baltimore Ravens taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, two teams that are coming off the highest of highs, I would say. The Chargers winning that game against the Browns, the Ravens making that comeback against the Colts. Lamar Jackson silencing all the running back blah, blah, blah. He threw for 440 yards. I mean, this is going to be a very good game, and it could go either way. I have the Ravens in this one. I just think that offense is so dynamic with Lamar, and that I like the Ravens defense a bit more than the Chargers defense, although both defenses are good. I think that the Ravens can win this game, although I expect it to be a very good game.
Yeah, we got our first difference here. I got the Chargers in this one. Just watching the game against the Browns, I honestly do unbiasedly. I know I'm extremely biased. I feel like the Browns would have won if that call didn't go the Chargers' way. But hey, they put up like 40 plus, and their defense, I mean, it was not good, but that's not what their defense usually is. It's a lot better. But man, they're a fun team. Justin Herbert's going to be really good in this league for a long time. And I feel like they're very deep. And I just really like the Chargers. Part of me is just kind of hoping they win because the Ravens are obviously in the same division as the Browns. But
and
I think
I guess
I'm
kind of the other way around.
Yeah, exactly.
The Chargers win. So there's maybe a sprinkle of bias in there, but I think we can both agree
different.
This is going to be a very good game.
Yeah.
Moving on to a game that looked like it was going to be good. It definitely could still be good. But some news broke today about a key player being out. Arizona Cardinals versus the Cleveland Browns. The Browns will be missing Nick Chubb. And I feel like what makes their offense so good is that they can just flip-flop Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, and defenses have no idea what to do about it. And only having Kareem Hunt, and I even think he was limited in practice. I think he is still
going to play, but
I think he's going to play.
But 100%.
Yeah, he's been banged up. The Browns lean on that rushing attack, and also the Cardinals are very good. So I got the Cardinals in this one.
I'm picking against the Browns. It sucks this week, but I mean, I gotta try to make the smart pick here. The Cardinals, best team so far this year, and the Browns missing our best offensive player. It's pretty tough. Nick Chubb absolutely destroyed the Chargers last week, and it was just like amazing to watch him just break loose and then get tackled and somehow stay on his feet every single time. But Kareem Hunt's still good. It's just the
Kareem Hunt's
reason
great.
why
It's the back and forth is what makes it so
what makes
good.
it so special is you can just throw it to either of them. Yeah. But yeah, I mean the Cardinals have just been so amazing this year. I gotta go with them.
Yeah. Moving from your favorite team to my favorite team, the Las Vegas Raiders are taking on the Denver Broncos. Two teams started off 3-0. They have lost 2 straight. I mean, my Raiders are so tough to gauge right now. Like, even, yeah, they won their first 3, lost their last 2. We just lost. Our head coach just resigned. So I have a feeling this week we're either going to look really good or we're going to look like an absolute dumpster fire, because this is the point in the season where usually the Raiders collapse, because they've done it the past like 2 seasons. They start off really good and everyone's super excited, and it just doesn't end up piecing all together in the end. All that being said, I'm going to pick the Raiders in this one. I don't think the Broncos are that good of a football team. I view these teams as pretty equal. They both have, strong suits here and there, but they're like very fringe wild card teams in my opinion. So I'm going to go with the Raiders in this one.
Yeah, I'm going with the Raiders too. I feel like this week is going to say a lot about the Broncos because their first 3 games they won against 3 teams who were 0-9, I think, put together.
Yeah, at the time,
and I
they've
feel like
1 game since, but they're
yeah,
still not good teams.
Yeah. I just can't. I really have no idea what the Broncos really are this year so far, and I feel like this is going to tell me a lot. But I just feel like the Raiders are better, and yeah, the last 2 weeks they haven't been good, but I mean, I feel like they got more talent on that team. But I'm excited to see the result because I feel like it's going to show a lot for both these teams.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the Broncos come in after losing back-to-back to the Ravens and the Steelers, 2 teams the Raiders beat, but we all know the Raiders are just in a different mindset completely now.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching in the NFL is a lot more important than coaching in, say, the NBA. Like, these are the coaches that basically dictate what happens in the game. And John Gruden was the Raiders' offensive play caller. I was never really a fan of him as a play caller. I think he was like a good coach. Obviously, he's a terrible person, I guess. So, I mean, whatever, he can enjoy retirement. I don't care. But it should be interesting to see just the direction the Raiders go from here, because I don't know. There's a lot of moving parts right now. But we'll see. Moving on, the Dallas Cowboys are taking on the New England Patriots. I'm pretty confident that the Cowboys will win this game. I've been really impressed with them.
Yeah, me too. The Patriots they lost last week, right?
Yes, I believe they did.
Yeah, I mean,
no. The Patriots beat the Texans. Yeah, they came back.
Okay,
they beat them 25-22.
Yeah, I remember last week looking at the score, and I think they were down by a lot at the start, and I was just really disappointed in them. I don't think the Patriots are absolutely terrible, but I don't think they're great, and I feel like the Cowboys have just been solid this year the entire time. So yeah, I'm picking the team that I just think is straight up better. I mean, that's what I usually do, but I feel like this matchup isn't really, any different than just me. I don't know. I just believe in the Cowboys a lot more. And Dak Prescott's been great so far.
Yeah. This week's Sunday night football game, I think, will be an absolutely ugly game. The Pittsburgh Steelers are taking on the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks without Russell Wilson, without Chris Carson. It's Geno Smith versus Ben Roethlisberger. It's not going to be good. Bad offense. I mean, the Seahawks still have weapons, and so do the Steelers. But we all know the quarterback is the most important position in football. They both have bad quarterbacks. I'm going to go with the team with the better defense, so I've got the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, Big Ben has not been good at all, but he's still their starting quarterback.
He's a
and I feel
starting
like
quarterback, right?
that's still a lot. I got a really weird prediction for this one that we'll get to, but yeah, I hate picking for the Steelers, but I mean, the Seahawks are so injured, and I mean, they've been absolutely terrible, especially defensively. And then you take away a big part of that offense.
Take away the
not
only,
gonna be,
you take away the only reason they would have
yeah,
been good.
I just think they're going to be terrible this week. So yeah, I got the Steelers.
And then the Monday night game is the Buffalo Bills against the Tennessee Titans. Titans very underwhelming this year. They've had some trouble with injuries. The Bills, I think, are the team to beat in the AFC right now. So I've got the Bills in this one.
Yeah, I think I saw a stat where they've won the last like 3 or 4 by like 18 plus. Just insane. And it's been good teams too, or some good teams. But it's just really impressive what they've done. The Titans, like you said, have been so underwhelming. I feel like you can't pick against the Bills.
Yeah, I mean, the Bills' last 4 games, 35-0, 43-21, 40-0, 38-20.
40-0.
Like, that's good.
It is pretty good.
Moving on, I think we had one difference. Our difference
Yeah.
was the Ravens-Chargers game. All right,
Yeah.
I'm safe with my lead. That means I'm secured. But you could inch forward.
I could jump one up.
All right, bold predictions. I'm gonna go first. Mine comes out of the Cowboys Patriots game. I have Ezekiel Elliott rushing for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has had a great start to the season after kind of he played week 1 against the Buccaneers, a very good rush defense. People panicked, said he's not going to be a big part of this offense. And he has come back and just absolutely just been a workhorse for the Cowboys. And I don't think that stops this week. They're going to be ahead against the Patriots. That means they're going to run a lot. I have Zeke having a big game.
My first one is for the Chargers Ravens game. I think both teams will score 30 plus. I don't think either of these teams have bad defenses, but last week both of them did not play well on defense, but their offenses were just amazing. And I just feel like that can carry over to this week. I mean, I love this matchup a lot. I'm definitely going to watch like the whole thing. I mean, 30 plus, I feel like it could be 40 plus even. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited.
My next prediction comes with my lock of the week. I have the Los Angeles Rams winning by 25 points this week. I didn't want to go the full 30. I don't know why. I would have gone 30 if Daniel Jones was out. It looks like he's going to play. Coming off a concussion, though, we know that'll affect a guy a lot. Not even physically. It's more your mindset and knowing you're coming off of a head injury. You're much more cautious. They don't have Saquon Barkley. They don't have Kenny Golladay. That team is very injured right now, and the Rams are a very good team. They in the past couple of weeks, they haven't been as good as they were the first few weeks, but I still think that they have all the talent in the world. So I have the Rams winning by 25 points this week.
Yeah. Mine, the weird one that I was talking about, my weird prediction is that Big Ben will have 45 plus pass attempts against the Seahawks. This man loves throwing the ball for 4 yards every play for no reason. And the Seahawks defense is atrocious. So I could see this happening. I could also see them being up by a lot and then just running it. But I just feel like this was kind of a fun pick. I don't know how likely it is. He's thrown for 51 game for no reason. It came in an L, which is not unexpected, but I think he's averaging 38 or something. So it's not super far off, but usually he's 40 or below. So yeah, I just wanted to go up there for a little bit.
Yeah, and he'll throw the ball to Najee Harris behind the line of scrimmage 8 times a game, and it's he throws the ball maybe 2 yards to his right, and it counts as an attempt. So that offense is so weird that it's just they use Najee Harris well, but it's basically only in that passing game. So
right,
Big Ben is a thrower. I won't necessarily put any. I wouldn't say good thrower next to it, but he does throw the ball.
Yeah.
All right, those are our NFL Week 6 predictions. Let's move on. Which sport do you want to do next? MLB or NBA?
Let's do NBA so we can finish off with MLB.
All right, NBA season predictions. here we go. Actually, first, I would like to go ahead and go look back at our preseason predictions from last year. I'm
Uh-oh.
pretty sure we did this once, but I just want to see like if any credit should be given to us in these predictions. I'm gonna guess probably not,
I think
but
you got Jordan Clarkson for 6-man.
yes, I did do that.
I don't know if we got anything else. But
um,
these are hard.
yeah, oh, here it is. We both picked Luca for MVP. I also picked LaMelo Ball for Rookie of the Year, so I got
Nice.
that. Your Obi Toppin pick didn't work
Oh
out.
no.
Yeah, that's all we got. I had the only two correct predictions, I guess, LaMelo and Jordan Clarkson. So hoping
What was
for
my what was my 6-man?
Spencer Dinwiddie,
Spencer
who
Dinwiddie,
played
who
3 games. He started in those
yeah,
3 games.
he didn't come off the bench one time. Hey,
And then tore his ACL. So it's like,
hey, it's
yeah,
tough.
injury ruined that prediction, but also
He should have been coming off the bench anyway. Hey, I don't know.
So yeah, we're gonna start off with Coach of the Year because I'm
Okay.
gonna go from least important award, I guess, or
Sure.
I guess least recognizable award. I'll go first. I'll go. I'll go first. I'm going with Billy Donovan, coach of the Chicago
All
Bulls.
right.
I really like this Bulls team this year, and I'm really excited to watch them. I feel like Coach of the Year, they really like to give it to kind of surprise coaches, teams that kind of come out of the gutter, just so to say. And I think the Bulls are a team that can definitely do that. And Billy Donovan's a good coach. He's just been, coaching the Thunder. So I think he's going to get his recognition with the Bulls this year.
I picked Billy Donovan for this one too. And I had pretty much the same reasoning as you. Billy Donovan, he's been a bit of a controversial coach. People think he's good and people think he's bad. And it's kind of, I think he's just kind of average, honestly, right now. But he's also had teams where they've been really talented and he's done well with them. And then teams like, whereas Russell Westbrook in 2017, where he won MVP. And I mean, he was the coach of that. So I'm really excited to see him with this team. I totally agree with you. I feel like Coach of the Year sometimes comes with teams that do a lot better than either last year or than they were expected to do. And I'm really liking this Bulls team. It's preseason, but what they've shown so far has been really fun. I think their defense is going to be fantastic. I think Zach LaVine's going to get a lot more credit this year. And I mean, I think Billy Donovan's going to do great. I don't see how he can really mess this up. If he does, I mean, it could go the other way too. If he's horrible, then he can just straight up get fired. But
I mean,
if everything goes right,
you look at this team, and if everything, like, best case scenario, or I mean, if everybody plays to their potential, you could have 4 all-stars.
right?
Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic. Like, those are like, that's a very good roster.
Right.
So that's the team to watch, I would say.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the Bulls.
All right.
Which one are we doing next?
Moving on. What is your most improved player this year?
All right.
Very hard
player,
to predict, by the way.
Yeah, this one. I mean, who would have picked Julius Randle last year? Like, I wouldn't even know he would be in the running for that. It's one of the like top 5 favorites, I think, but definitely not like the favorite. I got Kevin Porter Jr. in this one.
Yeah.
This really hurts as a Cavs fan trading him. Every Cavs fan knew how talented he was. It was just he didn't want to be in Cleveland, and I mean, the coaching staff didn't really handle it great. But I mean, he's shown a lot of potential. He put up 51 game. I think he's going to take a ton of shots. Him and Jalen Green together is going to be a really fun backcourt. He's got the passing ability. I think he's going to run point this year, which is pretty fun. John Wall looks like he's on the way out. They're looking for a trade. I don't know who's going to trade for that contract, but I don't think he's going to be playing. And Kevin Porter Jr., yeah, he's shown flashes. He's getting another year under his belt, and it's kind of been his first like full year, even though it wasn't full, but this should be his first full year. And yeah, I think he's just super talented, and a fun young team like this, if they have basically any success and he's putting up numbers, I think it can go to him. And I don't expect the Rockets to win more than like 30 games this year, but sometimes most improved players just go to a young player who's doing a lot better.
Yeah, I really like that pick. I was thinking about it, but I just decided to go with this guy who it might be a cheater pick, maybe a little bit because he's been injured, but like that factors into it. Like you're most improved if
Yeah,
you come off of injury. I've got Jaren Jackson Jr. for this injury. I think
it's a
that
good one.
that Grizzlies team, like you said, they like to give it to young guys. Jaren Jackson Jr. checks that box. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Morant is this like great it's like this
They're
great
perfect.
combination of like the NBA of the future, like
Mhm.
point guard, center, power forward, whatever you want to call Jaren. It's an absolute like an electric point guard, and then a big man who can stretch the floor. Like it's what you want in today's NBA. And I think when they're both on the court and they're both healthy, they benefit off of each other so much just based on their play styles. And I think if Jaren Jackson Jr. has a fully healthy season, which looks like will hopefully happen, I hope it happens. I think he could be in for a very big leap this year.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the only thing holding him back is his injury history. And I mean, that is a big thing to hold you back, but everybody can see how talented he is, and his potential is so high, especially with Jaw at the point. So yeah, I like that pick.
Moving on, sixth man of the year. I had trouble with this one. I also felt some pressure because I got it right last year, and I feel like I gotta continue my reign. I have Derrick Rose. I think
I was gonna pick that. I think that was my second choice.
I think that the Knicks, are gonna stay around. I don't think they're gonna take a big leap. I mean, bringing in Kemba is going to help? Question mark. We'll see. But I see them finishing around where they finished last year, maybe a bit lower. We'll see. I mean, the NBA landscape is so weird. It's always changing. But bringing in Kemba Walker, he's going to get the starter minutes at point guard. And I think Derrick Rose off the bench, we saw last year, he still has juice in him. Like he can still go out and put up like 30-point games if he wants to. And I think that's what I look for when I look at bench players that I think could win sixth man of the year is who can go out and like take over like towards the end of the game and end up playing starter minutes. And I think Derrick Rose is that guy.
Right. I really like that pick. I feel like Derrick Rose, even if he plays the shooting guard, I feel like he could like finish off games. Like you just said, I feel like he could get 20 plus minutes a game. And yeah, we'll see what happens with Kemba this year. I mean, I still think he's so talented. So we'll see what happens in New York. But Derrick Rose is just, he's not like an old man. Like people say like, yes, his prime is absolutely behind him, but like he's still got a lot left in him. And I mean, he's such a fan favorite too. So I would love if he won this award. For me, now this one scares me a little bit because, well, first of all, it's Patty Mills. But
another 6 man of the year on the Nets.
Now that Kyrie is not playing, I don't know if he's starting or not. I would really like to see James Harden at the 1 and Joe Harris at the 2. I feel like that's much better in this league than Joe Harris playing the 3. Yeah. So
if he starts,
I know that
that would be so hilarious.
This is a very risky pick because I don't even know if he's going to be coming off the bench. But hey, Patty Mills, I think is one of the most underrated players in the league just from what he does. He's such an amazing player off the bench.
He sauced up Team USA in the Olympics.
Yeah, like when he gets his like shine, like he gets his ability to play, he plays so well. Like in the Olympics. But Patty Mills on the Spurs, I mean, who's watching Spurs games, honestly?
Right.
But he's been so good. He's such an efficient player. If you give him minutes and put him in a role where he can actually facilitate and score, he is so good at it. He's very efficient. And I feel like the Nets was a perfect fit for him. I feel like he can be sort of that microwave off the bench. And they lost a lot of bench guys. Like, I mean, they lost guys like Jeff Green, Landry Shamet. That's a great spot for him to fit into. And if I think the Nets are going to have a ton of success. So a 6 man of the year on like a top 3 seed, at least, I feel like that could definitely happen. So yeah. I hope he comes off the bench at least.
I like it. Defensive player of the year. Who you got?
My defensive player of the year. I picked Anthony Davis. It is kind of a toss up between him. Well, I mean, there was a bunch of different guys. I wanted to go with Rudy Gobert, but the question marks about his playoff performances on defense where he gets kind of exposed is just what held me back from that, because I feel like some voter fatigue might go into that.
Mhm.
Anthony Davis has shown his ability to switch on defenders. Obviously, he can guard in the paint. He's amazing. He's one of the best shot blockers in the league. He's got some of the best defensive rating numbers in the league. He gets steals. He gets everything. The counting stats are there. And you can just see his impact on defense. I think the Lakers are going to be great on defense this year. They have been the last couple of years. And yes, it's a very new team, but I feel like the guys they brought in, a lot of them are solid at defense, and he's still got anchors. I think LeBron is still going to be there doing well. I don't think he's going to be bad. Russell Westbrook is an all right defender, and then Anthony Davis in the paint. I mean, that's great. And we'll see if he plays power forward or center. I feel like he's going to play center a lot more this year, and that might show up in the defensive like rating numbers because centers obviously protect the paint a lot more, and I feel like that can be really impactful for voters who look at that. But yeah, we just know how talented he is. It kind of depends on what the Lakers do and how healthy he is this season, but we know he's got the ability.
Yeah, I selfishly, as a Lakers fan, wanted to go Anthony Davis. I didn't because it's like bad to say, but I don't know if he's going to last the full season
Right.
healthy.
Right.
But it's tough. That's always tough to predict. So I try to take that out of it. But I went Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat. I think he's just shown that he's consistently one of the best defenders in the NBA. He has the athleticism to guard pretty much every position. And I know Rudy Gobert's gotten a lot of defensive player of the years, but like that also goes into, their consideration. How well can you guard everybody? And like you said, Anthony Davis is one of those guys as well. But Bam Adebayo has just shown that it doesn't matter who you switch him onto. He's going to lock them up. And then he's also a guy that's like, I don't know how to say this, but he can take another leap in his defensive, in his defense this year. I think that team is going to be interesting to watch. Kyle Lowry, I feel like I always forget he's on that team. But I've got Adebayo winning defensive player of the year.
Yeah. I saw online something where, I mean, his defense is already so good, but his offense, you can tell that there's like big leaps that he can take. He's already solid, but like shooting and mid-range, he just started taking mid-ranges last season. And if he starts making more of those shots, putting up more points, I think he'll get more recognition. And I feel like the Heat, just because they were underwhelming season last year, that he kind of didn't get the shine that he deserved. So yeah, I definitely like that pick too.
Moving on, rookie of the year. I have Jalen Green of the Houston Rockets. Do you have him as well?
No, I
Okay.
picked Cade, but I kind of expected.
I mean, Jalen Green, I'm still mad that he didn't go to UCLA, but as a UCLA fan, it's okay. He went to get his money. He's just a pure scorer, and he's going to put up numbers guaranteed on this Houston Rockets team. I feel like that's like he's going to start, I assume, and
He better.
And he's going to just take a lot of shots. And we've seen just with awards in general, numbers carry a lot of weight, and especially with rookie of the year, it's kind of just like, all right, who's going to fill up the stat line? And I think, and this could go for your pick as well, obviously. But I like Jalen Green more as a pure scorer, and I feel like that's what's going to get him his numbers on the Rockets.
Right. I mean, I feel like that is kind of what a lot of people are thinking, where he's going to take a lot of shots. There's no way his scoring totals aren't going to be high. He's probably going to be really inefficient, and that's what a lot of rookie of the years are.
Yeah.
I kind of went the other way with Cade Cunningham, where I feel like he'll maybe be the LaMelo role, where he'll be really solid and people will kind of see the impact more of the counting stats. Because a guy like Anthony Edwards, who put up a lot of points, I think he averaged almost 20 by the end of the year, but he was also very inefficient, at least to start the season. And that kind of went into it and the success of the team. I don't expect the Pistons to be better than the Rockets or anything, but I feel like Cade Cunningham has sort of the extra parts of his game where he can make other people around him better. And that doesn't mean Jalen Green can't. I just feel like Jalen Green is going to be a scorer. So it kind of depends on what the voters want in that, who does it better. It's weird that Jalen Green, I think, is the favorite just because, I mean, he's so talented already. And I mean, he's going to put up the points. That's kind of the whole point. But Cade Cunningham, his playmaking ability, I think the Pistons are going to be a lot more of a fun team this season just because the hype that he's got. And I mean, he's still the number one pick. Like, I feel like people are more
Yeah.
excited for Jalen Green at this point, but Cade Cunningham is the number one pick for a reason. So I'm really excited to see what he does, but I feel like it will be a 2-man race between these two.
Yeah. You didn't go with your boy, Evan Mobley? Wasn't feeling it?
It's, I think Evan Mobley's going to be great in this league. I don't expect his first season to be fantastic just because the Cavs are kind of just, they got a lot of big men, and I don't know what they're going to do with that. I think Evan Mobley would, I mean, I think he is a center. I think he can play power forward, but I think he is a center mostly. And then they're going to maybe sit Jarrett Allen for times, and Evan Mobley's going to move to center, and then Lowry Markkinen's going to move to power forward.
I always forget he's on the team.
Yeah, it's just going to be a weird rotation in my opinion. And I mean, running him at two different positions, like, I don't know how quickly he's going to figure that out, but he's shown a lot of flashes in summer league, and I feel like it's more down the road where it's going to be super good, but I feel like it might take him a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it usually is, except, besides the guys that burst on the scene, but that's very rare.
Right.
MVP. Would you like to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
All right.
I got my least favorite player in the league winning MVP, Mr. Kevin Durant. I'm slowly coming back around to more appreciating rather than hating. And Kevin Durant, I think, is probably the best player in the league right now, if not top 2 or 3. Doesn't really matter. The man is so talented, and he can just get his shot over anyone. I think he's going to put up 30 plus this season. He tore his Achilles and then came back like nothing happened. Nobody does that, especially if you're 7 feet tall and have no muscle on you. You're supposed to be able to take a little bit of time to recover, and this man doesn't. No Kyrie. I think he's going to put up more stats. Him with James Harden. James Harden's been able to coexist with other stars sometimes. I mean, he's a very good playmaker, and I think putting him at point guard, there's going to be ISO ball. I mean, it's Kevin Durant and James Harden, but
Yeah.
Kevin Durant's going to get his shots. I wouldn't be surprised if he puts up 32 like Curry did this season. And it's going to be really efficient, and I don't expect the Nets to be a bad team. I feel like they're going to be top 3 pretty much, even if there is injuries. We don't know what happens with Kyrie Irving. I feel like if Kyrie doesn't play, honestly, Kevin Durant's stats are probably going to be higher, at least his scoring numbers. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like the story's kind of set up for him to win this.
Yeah. It's a good pick. I'm honestly looking at this, and I don't think Kyrie's going to play. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Everything is pointing to him not playing, like, at least the first half of the season. I mean,
Right.
he would have to. It doesn't sound like anybody's changing his mind either.
Yeah.
So doesn't look like Kyrie's going to be out there. Kevin Durant is a great pick. I went with more of a long shot with a guy that I think is going to take a bigger jump. His team, in my opinion, got a little bit shallower, which I think allows for him to get just put up a lot more numbers. And I have Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics winning MVP. I struggle with this one because there's Steph, there's KD, there's Luka, I looked at Trae Young. Like there are guys everywhere, but I looked at Jason Tatum's career stats. 13 points. These are in his first 4 years. 13 points, 15 points, 23 points, 26 points. And then you look at rebounds, 5 rebounds, 6 rebounds, 7 rebounds, 7.5. Assists, 1.5 to 2 to 3 to 4. That's very steady improvement. And again, none of those numbers are MVP numbers. But if he continues to improve, he's still young. I think this could be a guy that we look at and say, wow, like it's like Jokic last year. Do we give him most improved and MVP? I think it could happen. I think it's all set up for him. I think it's going to be the Tatum and Jaylen Brown show there. I think Tatum's going to be the focal point of that offense, obviously. So, and I think the Celtics, I don't think they're going to, it's so tough. There probably won't be a top 2-3 seed. They'll be up there though. And I think they'll be firm enough in the playoffs, and Jason Tatum is going to break out even more than he has. And I have him winning MVP.
Yeah, I really like the long shots, but I mean, I could definitely see it happening. And I mean, Celtics fans, if Jason Tatum is playing well, we know how loud they're going to be and obnoxious about how he deserves this award. So,
Right.
I mean, yeah, he plays in Boston. He's going to get the credit he deserves if he does it. So, yeah, I like it. I'm just so excited for this season, man. I mean, it's so soon.
All right, NBA champion. Give it to me.
NBA champion already? I'm not ready for this.
This is just preseason. This is just what you're
just
looking
like
at.
just throwing it out there right now.
Yeah, and if you hit, then great job. And if you don't, it's preseason, doesn't matter.
I'm guessing you're going Lakers, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll go first. I have the Lakers beating the Bucks. I don't think the Nets can beat the Bucks without a third star.
Right. If Kyrie played, I'm absolutely taking the Nets, even though I'm not going to be rooting for them. I'm picking them 100%. But now that I don't know if he's playing or not, but he's not starting. I think I'm going to go with the Lakers too. I mean, man, it's tough, but I feel like that's kind of the finals matchup that I had anyway. Mm-hmm. And the teams in the East that could pass them instead of the Nets. I mean, I think Milwaukee's great, but I don't know. I feel like the Lakers. I don't know, man. It just seems like
it's all set up there that all those guys come and they all get their ring.
Yeah,
like that would be so amazing. Like I feel like if you're not like an active Laker hater and you're just an NBA fan, like you would have to root for that to happen. Like.
Yeah, and for the guys like Westbrook and Carmelo,
right,
not for like
saying.
LeBron.
No,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Like for Westbrook, for Melo, for these guys that, you know, they're ring chasing, but also it's like they're going to teams where, you know, they look like they want to play. That it's going to be a very fun team to watch, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
and yeah, I'm excited.
I just want to see Westbrook like
thrive,
succeed. I just want him to do well. And I completely understand if you think Westbrook is not a winning player. I mean, that's what advanced stats say. And I think I look at advanced stats a lot, but I think he's just got it in him where he can change his play style. And I feel like it could happen. So I'm just really hoping it does.
If he's going to change his play style for anybody, it's going to be for LeBron James. And
yeah. And so I think I just want the Lakers Nets matchup. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
That'd be so fun.
All right, this is a longer episode, but let's get into our MLB. It's going to be quick. I mean, we've been talking about it really all year and talking about all these teams all year, so there's not much else to say. Just that the Dodgers beat the Giants last night in really, I think, the matchup between the best two teams in the league. If you put records beside, I still think that these two teams were the best this year, just in terms of just overall, not necessarily star power. Obviously, the Dodgers, I think, are the best in star power. Pretty much anyone would agree with that. Yeah. But just the way they played, like they were pretty obviously the best teams in the league. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I'm obviously hyped. Dodgers Braves is a rematch of last year's NLCS. I think the Dodgers are a better team. I mean, the Braves also have this like aura around them where it's like we lost, you know, Soroka, we lost Acuna, like but they've just kept on chugging. So it's almost like we have two powerhouses and two Cinderellas left in the playoffs, which is kind of fun. But my prediction, I think the Dodgers beat the Braves in either 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, I would go Dodgers in 6 for this one. I really, really wish the Braves were healthy. It sucks that like Acuna's out. I mean, he's basically he is the best player on that team, and he's the most exciting player on that team. I love that we're getting a rematch at least, though. I think that'll be really fun, and it just feels like the like NL championship, I guess was the one that the Dodgers and Giants just played. Yeah. But I don't think the Braves are just going to roll over. I feel like they're still a very good team, and I feel like they could give them at least a shot to
win.
They
get home field advantage because they're the higher seed, which is
stupid,
bad,
by the way.
Which is bad.
Doesn't make any sense, but hey, that's how it works. But yeah, I'm really excited for this because I feel like the Braves aren't. I think they're going to just surprise some people, even if they do lose.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, the Braves, like, yeah, they're good, but they're not going to beat Milwaukee, and then they win 3-1. They're too injured, and it just happens. So yeah, I'm really excited for this matchup. For the other side, we got Boston and Houston. I think this will be exciting too. I feel
It's
like
a cheater series.
it
The
is a
American
cheater
League
series.
cheater series.
I don't. Boston gets no hate on them for no reason, but hey, I mean, I'm all for hating on the Astros too. That being said, I do think Houston is the better team.
Yeah.
I think that they could win in 5 or 6 also.
Mhm.
Just their offense is incredible and their pitching is pretty good, which is definitely enough to keep them in. It's just their offense has been so amazing. They destroyed the White Sox in multiple games. I hate the players, how cocky they are on that team, but hey, they've been backing up everything they've been saying. They've been great on the road too. It's hard to pick against them right now. And the Red Sox, I mean, they're very talented. I just don't feel like they're that deep, especially on like the pitching side.
Yeah. The Red Sox have been very fun. I mean, as a Dodger fan, it's great, and it's also kind of sad to see Kike doing so well, and then also seeing Jock Peterson do so well. Like, just with the way our offense has been performing recently, it's like, okay, can we have them back, please? But yeah, I think the Astros are a better team. I don't think I underestimated their offense. I just think maybe I thought the White Sox pitching would get to them, and
Yeah.
they proved that they can literally hit anything. Um, and the Red Sox, I think this is going to be a very high scoring series because the Red Sox are a very offense minded team. Um, that being said, I agree with you. I think Astros in 5 or 6. If the Dodgers win, we're getting a rematch of either the 2017 or 2019 World Series, or 2018, sorry, which is exciting. I would be very happy to beat either of them. Obviously, I would rather beat the Astros.
Yeah.
So Dodgers Astros, I think the baseball world would like that. Like,
If that happens, either way, like the result of that is going to be insane. The fan bases are going to go wild. If the Dodgers win, everybody's going to just hate on the Astros so much.
yeah.
And if the Astros win, there's going to be the most obnoxious fan base ever for how much they're like, oh, we didn't even need to cheat. Oh my God. It'll be fun though.
It will be fun. Dodgers and Astros seem like the powerhouses, but Red Sox and Braves have that Cinderella energy around them. So
Yep.
it's almost the perfect storm in the playoffs where we it's not, oh, all the top seeds are there. It's
Yeah.
a mixture, which we always love to
I
see.
I am so disappointed in the Rays also. Like I
Yeah.
feel like this is what everybody's like, yeah, but they're the Rays and then they're all right. And I just that's not the team that they are and they just
Yeah.
did not play well against the Red Sox and that's all that needs to happen. And it's just sad.
Shout out to the Giants. I mean, they were like you said, last night was game 5 for those of you that are listening later, was like peak baseball. Like, that was a baseball game. Like, I was stressed out for 7 straight days.
Shout out Belly.
Shout out Belly. Never stop believing in Belly. Playoff Belly is a real thing, by the way. He's already like tied for the most hits, most like game-winning hits in the inning or later or something.
Every Dodgers player has something in the postseason that they've done.
You just wait. Albert Pujols is still going to get his money.
You know he will.
But yeah, I think we're heading towards a classic, playoff run.
Even if the Braves make it past them, it'll be every single matchup.
Every single matchup is going to be good.
Yeah,
I think I'm obviously rooting for Dodgers versus anybody else, but Dodger. I think Braves Red Sox, if that happens, is cool. Like, yeah, like you said, any matchup is going to be a cool World Series.
Yeah, I just don't want the Astros to win.
Yes. All right, that's all. It was a very full, very fun episode. We talked about the NFL, NBA, and MLB, the great trifecta. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. If you listen this far in, we love you. Go ahead and comment your NBA MVP prediction. We're going to do a post about it come Tuesday when the season begins. And yeah, that has been the World of Sports podcast for my co-host Logan Ring. My name is Diego Sandoval, signing off.
Signing off.